And this is Travis Griffin, and I just want to take a minute. I'm just real excited to start this new financial series I'm going to do that I share this information with my clients when we get started. I really want to take some time because I read so many articles where a lot of people, they really don't understand how underfunded their retirement is. And a lot of people don't really have any money for a life event if they put, as far as like their kids' college, or if they get sick, or, just like health insurance deductibles today are $5,000. Some of them, a family of four, like for mine, I have $14,300 out of pocket before my plan will pay anything. So, where do you come up with that money in the event something happens? So I just want to start this series and about what I call wealth transfers. And that's really what I say sets me apart from the typical advisor, where they just focus on better investments to pay a higher rate of return. And I'm not saying that's not important, but the main thing is understanding how money works. I learned a long time ago that if we can focus on the losses, it's worth way more than always trying to pick the winners. So this is a basic, I call this the personal economic model. And what this is it's a very simple picture of how money works. So you'll notice here on this screen that this right here is the largest tank on this screen. And the reason it's the largest tank is that represents all the money you're ever going to earn over the course of your life. But notice we never get all the money we're ever going to earn up front. We get that in the form of what we call monthly cash flow. Now, let me ask you, though, if you could get all the money you're ever going to earn up front, but let's just say tomorrow you're going to get one lump sum check, but then after that you will never get another penny, would you spend that money differently? Well, the answer for all of us would be yes, we would, because we know we're never going to have another penny the rest of our lives. So when you get paid every week, whether it's a paycheck or you own your business and you get paid, always think of it that way, that this is potentially all the money that I'm ever going to have. But you'll notice here at the next stop, we have this bronze thing just bolted on here. And I call that the tax filter. Now, who controls the taxes in this country? Well, it's obvious, the federal government, right? So if they need more money, they'll open up that valve there and more money will flow out, and they'll take a cut of whatever you earn before you get what you have. So the next stop, once you go through the tax filter, is what I call the lifestyle regulator. And you control that, and that's your standard of living here. So the natural flow is it comes through, and then once it goes out this other side, it's what? Consumed and gone forever. Now, if you'll notice at the top here, there's another pipe here flowing. And that's what I call your future lifestyle. And the reason that pipe is going up is because it goes against the natural flow, which is down and out. So it takes effort to pump money up through those two pipes to fill up these other two tanks, which is what I call your savings and investment tanks along the way. Okay? So when we look at your savings and investment tanks, I want you to just take a look at these two tanks and try to see the differences. Well, one is this savings tank has a cap on it. And what that cap represents is every dollar that you have in that tank is safe from market fluctuation. It is liquid. You have total control of that dollar if you need it. On the investment tank, there's no cap. And what that represents is evaporation. We all watched that happen in the 1990s, with the early 90s, the savings and loan crisis, the tech crash of 2000, terrorist attack of 2001, the financial crisis of 2007 and 8. So when you have evaporation, here's what can happen. So that can really impact your overall plan. And remember one thing, you can never recover from your losses. You can only recoup your losses. Because once you lose that dollar, you lose that dollar earning interest forever. It never stops. You can only recoup from where you were from. I meet with a lot of clients that just this week that said, well, Travis, I'm finally back to where we were before we lost half our money in 2007 and 8. But the reality is they're not back to where they were. If you factor in inflation, loss of opportunity costs on that money for the last 10 years, that's a decade that they've lost the earnings of that money. So, but anyway, so the goal over time is to fill up these 2 tanks right here. So later in life, you can turn on these distribution valves because your earnings capacity is gone. Okay? So, when we talk about saving money, well, the question is, how do you do that? How do you save money without having to impact your lifestyle? Because we're so used to consuming everything. And think of it this way. Let's just say you save 5% of your income per year. Do you understand that it will take 20 years to save 1 year's worth of income? Now, I get you may make some money in the stock market or lose money, but then by the time you factor in fees, taxes, inflation, and the losses, is the deck is stacked against most people. Our retirement's just so underfunded. Now on this tank too, you'll notice you have a diverter valve, okay? And that's so you can go back and forth to different tanks at different times. And you also have 2 pipes going back behind here. And what that represents is you can take money from one side to the other side. So you can go back and forth if you see an opportunity like real estate. I have one gentleman, he buys and sells automobiles back and forth. He'll use that money going back and forth. But when he does that, he understands he's coming over to the risk tank where there's a potential for loss. You have to remember that. So this is I just want to do this short video. And what I'm going to do is I want to get more into the transferred money and how we can potentially find money for you and my clients and how I do all of that. And then once we find the money, now we talk about how can we put that to the accumulated assets so your future's a lot more solid, so we can save a lot of money. So when I hear people say, we all know we need to save money, well, how do you do that? And then how we do it is we have to find the money to save. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this was very informative for you. And just keep an eye on your email. You'll see another one. Thank you.